Good evening, Nigeria. And we have some very serious news making waves across the country right now that you absolutely need to hear about. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, better known as EFCC, has reportedly traced a massive amount of properties to former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami. We are talking about 41 properties with a combined value of 212 billion naira. Yes, you heard that correctly. 212 billion naira in properties allegedly linked to one man who served as the nation's chief law officer. Now, let me break this down for you, because this story is getting more interesting by the minute. Abubakar Malami served as Attorney General under former President Muhammadu Buhari from 2015 all the way to 2023, making him one of the longest-serving Attorney Generals in Nigerian history. During his time in office, he was responsible for overseeing legal matters for the entire federal government, and his position came with enormous power and influence. But now, questions are being raised about how someone in public service could allegedly accumulate such staggering wealth, and Nigerians are demanding answers. The properties in question are not just small houses or empty land in remote villages. According to reports that have emerged in 2025, these assets include massive estates, choice properties in premium locations, and investments that would make even the wealthiest business moguls jealous. The sheer scale of these holdings has left many people shocked, because when you calculate 212 billion naira divided by 41 properties, you are looking at an average of over 5 billion naira per property. These are not ordinary investments, and the EFCC is now working to determine exactly how these assets were acquired and whether due process was followed. What makes this situation even more compelling is the timing. The current administration under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has made fighting corruption one of its key priorities, and the EFCC has been empowered to go after high-profile individuals regardless of their political connections or past positions. This investigation into Malami shows that nobody is above scrutiny, and it sends a clear message that the days of public officials enriching themselves at the expense of ordinary Nigerians may finally be coming to an end. The anti-corruption drive appears to be gaining momentum, and people across the country are watching closely to see if justice will truly be served. Now, before we go further, if you are enjoying this breakdown and you want to stay updated on all the latest developments in Nigerian politics and current affairs, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now and turn on your notification bell so you never miss any of our videos. We bring you the facts, we bring you the analysis, and we make sure you understand exactly what is happening in our country. Go ahead and tap that button because we have much more to discuss. The investigation has revealed that these properties are spread across multiple locations in Nigeria and possibly beyond our borders. Some reports indicate that there are luxury properties in Abuja, Lagos, Kano, and even Kebbi State, where Malami hails from. The diversity and spread of these assets suggest a carefully planned acquisition strategy that took years to execute. Real estate experts have pointed out that accumulating such a portfolio would require not just substantial funds, but also sophisticated financial planning and access to insider information about prime locations before property values skyrocketed. What has really gotten Nigerians talking on social media is the mathematics of it all. Public servants in Nigeria earn salaries that are a matter of public record. The Attorney General's salary, allowances, and legitimate benefits are clearly defined by law. When you add up everything Malami would have earned during his 8 years in office, including allowances and benefits, the numbers simply do not come close to explaining how someone could acquire 212 billion naira worth of assets. This gap between legitimate earnings and alleged wealth accumulation is what investigators are focusing on, and it is the same question everyday Nigerians are asking themselves. The EFCC has a reputation for conducting thorough investigations, especially when it comes to high-profile cases that capture public attention. They will be looking at bank records, property registration documents, sources of funds for each acquisition, and whether proper taxes were paid on these investments. They will also investigate whether any of these properties were acquired using proxies or front companies to hide the true ownership. This is standard procedure in corruption investigations, and the Commission has successfully prosecuted cases like this in the past, so they know exactly what they are doing. Critics of Malami have been vocal on social media platforms, with many Nigerians expressing frustration that public officials continue to live lavish lifestyles while millions of citizens struggle with poverty, unemployment, and lack of basic infrastructure. The contrast between the wealth allegedly accumulated by one individual and the economic hardship faced by ordinary Nigerians has struck a nerve with many Nigerians who feel that corruption is the root cause of our national problems. People are asking how schools lack basic facilities, how hospitals lack essential medicines, how roads remain in terrible condition, yet individuals in government can allegedly acquire properties worth billions. However, it is important to remember that in any democratic society, every person is presumed innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. While the allegations are serious and the figures are staggering, Malami deserves the opportunity to respond to these accusations and present his side of the story. He may have legitimate explanations for his wealth, including business ventures, investments made before entering public service, or family inheritance. The investigation must be allowed to run its course without prejudice, and conclusions should only be drawn based on concrete evidence presented in court. There are also those who have come into Malami's defense, pointing out that he was a successful lawyer before becoming Attorney General and that he had established business interests that could account for some of his wealth. They argue that not every wealthy politician is corrupt and that success in private practice before entering government service is possible. These defenders insist that the presumption of innocence must be maintained and that rushing to judgment based on headlines alone is unfair and potentially damaging to someone's reputation. The political implications of this investigation cannot be ignored either. Malami was a key figure in the previous administration, and any findings against him could reflect poorly on that government and raise questions about oversight and accountability during that period. Political analysts are watching to see whether this case will open the door to more investigations of officials from the Buhari era or whether it will remain an isolated case. The relationship between the current and previous administrations has been complex, and this investigation adds another layer to that dynamic. What we are seeing here is part of a larger conversation Nigeria needs to have about public service, wealth declaration, and accountability. Every public official is required by law to declare their assets when assuming office and when leaving office. These declarations are supposed to be verified and made available for public scrutiny, but in reality, the system has been weak and enforcement has been inconsistent. If this investigation leads to stronger asset declaration procedures and better enforcement mechanisms, it could represent a positive step forward for our democracy. The international community is also paying attention to how Nigeria handles cases like this. Foreign investors, development partners, and international organizations always look at how seriously a country takes corruption before committing resources or entering into partnerships. A successful prosecution in a high-profile case like this could boost Nigeria's image abroad and demonstrate that the country is serious about cleaning up its act. Conversely, if the case fizzles out without consequences, it could reinforce negative perceptions about impunity and lack of accountability. Let me throw this question to you watching right now because I want to hear what you think. Do you believe that Nigeria's anti-corruption fight is finally getting serious, or do you think this is just another headline that will fade away without real consequences? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below because your voice matters and we want to know where you stand on this issue. Are you optimistic about change, or are you skeptical based on what you have seen in the past? Let us have that conversation right here. The coming weeks and months will be crucial as the EFCC continues its investigation. They will need to gather irrefutable evidence, follow proper legal procedures, and build a case that can stand up in court. Malami, on his part, will likely assemble a strong legal team to challenge the allegations and defend his reputation. We could be looking at a lengthy legal battle that will test Nigeria's judicial system and its ability to handle politically sensitive cases fairly and efficiently. For the average Nigerian watching this unfold, this case represents something bigger than just one individual or one set of properties. It represents hope that maybe, just maybe, things are beginning to change. It represents the possibility that public service will no longer be seen as an opportunity for personal enrichment, but as a responsibility to serve the people. It represents the dream that our children will grow up in a Nigeria where merit matters more than connections, where hard work is rewarded, and those who betray the public trust face real consequences. As we continue to follow this story, we will keep you updated with every new development, every court appearance, and every significant finding from the investigation. This is exactly the kind of accountability journalism that Nigeria needs, and we are committed to bringing you the truth without fear or favor. So, if you have not already done so, please hit that like button on this video to show your support for content that holds power accountable, and share this video with your friends and family who need to know what is happening in our country. This is Nigerian journalism at its finest, bringing you the facts, asking the tough questions, and making sure you understand exactly what is happening in our nation. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where we continue to break down the biggest stories affecting our nation.